All right, so get ready to keep it down out there, because today we are diving into A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. This game is all about surviving in silence, and from the material you gave me,
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they pull it off.
you think, adapting a horror movie into a video game, that's a tall order.
It is, especially with a franchise like A Quiet Place. The expectations are through the roof. Everyone's going to be listening, so to speak, for that signature tension and atmosphere.
For sure. So let's get into it, because this game drops on October 17th, right in time for some pre-Halloween chills. And get this, it's coming out on Xbox Series SX, PlayStation 5, and PC. Haven't heard anything about last-gen consoles, which, honestly,
Makes sense, right? To really nail the atmosphere in a game like this, you need some serious horsepower.
Yeah.
Ray tracing, 3D audio, all that good stuff. Imagine the tension of hearing those creatures creeping up on you in surround sound.
oh, don't even get me started on the sound design. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. And the fact that it's single player, genius. That isolation, having to rely solely on your own wits.
Exactly. That's where the real fear comes in, right? When you're utterly alone and vulnerable. And speaking of vulnerability, the source material mentions it's a puzzle game.
A puzzle game. That threw me off a little bit, not gonna lie. How do you blend jump scares with, like, Sudoku? You know.
Well, it makes you wonder how they're going to find that balance, because it can't just be about hiding and hoping for the best. There has to be some actual problem solving, some strategic use of the environment, and maybe even sound itself.
Using sound as a weapon. Now that's an interesting concept, almost like a reverse stealth game.
Right, like what if you could use noise to distract those creatures, lure them into traps, or even turn them against each other?
Now you're talking. Okay, so we've got the atmosphere, the puzzles. What about resources? What do we know about that?
Honestly, details are pretty scarce right now, but if I had to guess,
Yeah.
I'd say silence itself might be the most valuable resource in this game.
Ooh, I like that. So carefully timing your movements, actions, maybe even your breathing to avoid making any noise. That adds a whole other layer of tension to the gameplay.
Precisely. It's not just about what you do, but when and how you do it.
Clever. This game is shaping up to be pretty interesting, although I did notice it's sitting at like hashtag 3475 in popularity on that game website you sent, and there are barely any reviews yet.
Yeah, that's a little concerning. Could be a sign that it's going to be DOA, or maybe they're just playing it close to the vest, building anticipation for a truly terrifying experience.
I hope so. I'm really rooting for this one. So final thought for our listeners. If silence can be a weapon in this world, what other everyday elements could become crucial resources or even deadly threats in a world overrun by these sound-sensitive creatures?
That's a good one. It really makes you think about the power of sound, both for good and for evil.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, keep it quiet out there, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.